What is up, my friends? No funny intro this week. I wanted to take a second to first wish everyone a happy holidays. Hope everyone had a great holiday season and been a crazy year. It's been a crazy year, but hopefully we can all power through and hopefully everyone had a great holiday, regardless of how things are going. Hopefully 2021 turns up a little for us. I also wanted to say a huge thank you, huge thank you. We had a big event last weekend. It was like our Cube for Charity event. Those who don't know, myself and J Bro, Jonathan Brostoff, did a vintage cube charity challenge last year. That was a 1v1. It's a lot of fun. This year we upped the ante a bit and added some other players, and the response was incredible. My team was myself, Emma Handy, Zach Allen, and Newmont the Nummy. J Bro's team was LSV, Caleb D, and Gabriel Nassif. And the event yesterday and the day before over the weekend went better than we could ever imagined. We raised over $20,000 for charity. We had tons of trophies and drafts, and we had thousands of viewers the entire weekend bouncing around between streams, and it was just really fun. In the end, we did lose. You can see here I'm covering up the Cube Ventures. Sorry, Caleb. We did lose by 2 trophies, and as a result of that, everyone on my team had to donate $100 to Doctors Without Borders. Rats! How horrible to donate some money, But all in all, it was a phenomenal event, and there's the donation, and just really happy to see everyone come together. Vintage cubes kind of become a holiday tradition in Magic. Every December the Vintage Cube fires up, and Christmas and holiday season has kind of just been like you hang out with your family, you do holiday stuff, and you do Vintage Cube. So this fits into that perfectly. And we're going to do a Vintage Cube draft today, kind of in celebrating the holiday season and the end of the year. But just wanted to give a huge shout out to J-Bro, to everyone who participated, everyone who watched, everyone who donated. Maybe you watched for 5 minutes, maybe you donated $100, whatever it was, whatever you did, thank you for being a part of it. All right, I love you all. Thanks so much. And let's Cube draft, all right? Appreciate it. Thank you. We'll have a funny intro next week, I promise. All right, what is up, my friends? Let's Vintage Cube. It's the holiday season. Happy holidays, everyone. And we got a Soul Ring. Happy holidays to us. Soul Ring, the Cube for Charity event. I did 19 drafts. I opened 0 Soul Rings and 0 Ancestral Recalls. Maybe we're due. Now. Vintage Cube, of course, for those who are unfamiliar with what Cube is, real quick recap. Vintage Cube is a collection of all the best cards ever in Magic. And they're all shuffled up, and you draft them. And I gotta say, for many years, the Vintage Cube of Magic Online was really poorly designed. You may have heard me complain about it on stream, in articles and stuff. It's been slowly getting better, and this iteration has actually gotten to a point where it's quite good. There are very few filler cards anymore. It feels like a very well situated, well balanced Vintage Cube, and it's a lot of fun. It can be a little daunting if you're a newer Magic player, but it's a great way to dive into the history of the game. It's really fun. It's pretty cheap in Magic Online. Always around during the holidays. And Soul Ring is perhaps one of the best, if not the best cards in the entire Vintage Cubes. There are good cards here. Raphalos, Star Confidant. But Soul Ring ahoy. Eureka. Are we going to do this? Eureka is pretty fun. Eureka is a pretty fun deck to draft. I have done the Eureka deck a few times. It needs to be drafted in a very certain way. But not sure if it fits our first pick of Soul Ring very well. Because Eureka decks are often need to be at least 2 colors. There's different kind of decks in a cube. You have your more like, I have creatures, I'm attacking you with them. I'm a red deck. You have your opposition, I'm playing, a bunch of creatures or whatever. I'm tapping your stuff. There's combo decks like Storm and things like that. Artifacty decks, Academy Ruins. And it's very important to kind of pick your deck and draft it. And the Eureka deck, where you're trying to cheat in creatures, Oath of Druids, Eureka, Show and Tell, Sneak Attack, requires a pretty specific set of things. It requires tutors and things like that. It's definitely a fun deck. And the problem is that the rest of the cards here aren't super exciting. Kind of like this Karn, honestly, or Chrome Mox. Karn does play with our Soul Ring very well. Probably the best. Karn will probably play regardless. I think we're going to go for the Karn. I'm not going to go for the Eureka. Because the Eureka deck, my initial point was going to be that the Eureka deck is usually green-black. And a lot of the cards cost 1 or 2. So Soul Ring doesn't really do much in that deck. So Karn, Soul Ring. One of the big things about a cube draft is also trying to stay open with your first few picks. The biggest thing you want to do in Vintage Cube is a high ceiling, swing for the fences kind of format. You don't want to be middle of the road. You want to hit it out of the park or fail spectacularly as you swing and miss and fall to the ground. You got to have a high ceiling because the decks are very, very powerful. So a lot of your picks should be swing for the fences kind of picks. I took Karn. Is Karn good? It's fine. Will it be good in our artifact deck? Maybe. Maybe we're not an artifact deck, but looking for cards that really kind of bring it home. A card like Ravenous Chupacabra is fine, but not really a home run kind of card. Whereas like a Plow Under for a big ramp deck and things like that. This pack is pretty unexciting. It's honestly pretty medium. Or probably I take the Signet. Even an off-color Signet's fine in an artifact deck. Just like not a great pack. Taking a Dual End is defensible. Honestly, many picks there are defensible. Truth be told, because cube drafting is a very personal experience. You can defend a lot of your picks, just having to be reasonable. So looks like blue isn't really coming through. Blue is often one of the colors you want to pair with your artifact deck, although you can do many other things as well. Armageddon is pretty interesting. Armageddon is a card that can be a little rough because if your opponent has Moxes and things like that, it's not great, but it can be very powerful. And with Soul Ring and Signet, and then with Planeswalkers, Armageddon's the kind of card you want to cast when you are ahead, because it just locks the game up. So that's a pretty exciting one. It's also a single white symbol. One of the things about Vintage Cube also is that a lot of the broken mana, off-color Moxes, Soul Ring, Mana Crypt, all make colorless mana. So it can be hard to have a lot of colored requirements. So if you're a 2-color deck, you can get awkward, or a 3-color deck. I think we're going to Geddon here. I kind of like this Geddon. This interests me so far what we have. And we're going to go for the Geddon. I haven't done a Geddon deck in a while. So, all right. Next pack, we have Imperial Recruiter, Show and Tell. We are staying like fairly open here. Now it just kind of comes down to where we want to go, realistically. I mean, Oust is certainly okay. It's a decent removal spell. Yorion doesn't really work. Doesn't really work too well in the cube. Like Kaya is okay. Fauna Shaman is fine. Restoration Angel is mostly there for the combo with Kiki Jiki, but it's still a fine card, honestly. It's probably, it's kind of weird because I was just talking about swinging for the fences, but there aren't really any cards here that fit that criteria. Maybe Show and Tell, but I think Show and Tell is pretty weak in Vintage Cube as the risk is too high. We'll take Resto here and kind of just like ride the picks that we already have, and we'll see if we can find a direction. All right. Again, we have some duels here. Underground Sea, Bloodstained Mire. Taking lands is usually a safe place to be, but neither of them is white or lines up with what we're doing. Caracas is actually a really powerful card. A lot of the Vintage Cube is predicated on putting large things in play. Sneak Attack, Emrakul, Show and Tell, Eureka, cast whatever huge thing. And there are also just a lot of incidental legends, and Caracas is just super, super low opportunity cost for a card that's a plains half the time, and then half the time just wins you the game. So I think Caracas is a great pick here. We're doing kind of just like a white, almost like a white like stacks deck at this point, which would be kind of kill your lands, stuff like that. All right, there's Finhorn Elves, and the Llanowar Elf effects are really, really important in the cube, and they obviously play well with both ramping into things as well as our Armageddon. So Finhorn Elves here is pretty exciting. Plateau is a decent pick to try and keep open a possible color, although red-white is not exactly super exciting. I think I'm pretty interested in the Finhorn Elves here. There are no white cards, realistically. Cards like Coal Against Command, Bitter Blossom are pretty slow. It's like the Elves. See if green is open. Okay. Not a great pack here. Whisperwood Elemental is okay, but I'm not really excited about it. Relic Water is actually pretty good, but it is of course white. So if we end up being like a almost mono white deck that plays, I think Relic Water is a higher upside than Whisperwood. Big 5-drops are a dime a dozen, but good 2-drops that are also disenchants are pretty reasonable. And then nothing else here. Honestly, Maze of It is like a little interesting in a deck like this, but not super great. Take the Relic Water. All right. Another white Signet, which is great. Recruiter of the Guard is fine. It's kind of a cool card, but not super exciting. Everything else is kind of mopey, so I think it's fun. Wall Blossoms is not super exciting. There is some attacking and blocking in Vintage Cube, but it's typically not the main priority. There are a lot of decks that don't care about attacking or blocking unless you're attacking with Emrakul or some sort of like stupid thing. So The Eureka tables, but we are not in the direction of a Eureka deck, really. Quasi Pride Mage is certainly fine. I really doubt we're going to be Eureka at this point. I think Pride Mage is pretty reasonable. Color is pretty good too, but it looks like we're leaning green, so we're going to go for the Pride Mage. Nothing super exciting here. We'll take Needle Spires. I think splashing red is a possibility, whereas Taiga, we're not even sure if we're green yet, so Needle Spires is not great, but it's fine. And there are some red and green cards here. Kind of doubt we're playing Hunt Master of the Fells. Char's not great either, but probably not playing that. All right, there are actually a lot of red and green cards here. Ancient Guard is pretty good, but it does require green as well. Imperial Recruiter is kind of just like a fine card. I'll take the Recruiter. Red-white is possible. As a Pyromancer. Yeah, so red-green is clearly pretty open. I'll take the Bloodbraid Elf. And Fire Blast. Red is open too, just like red by itself. That's pretty interesting. Pretty interesting last few picks there. Pack 2. We open no power. There's a Demonic Tutor, which is obviously extremely good. It's also a Fractured Identity, which is a really, really good card. Really busted, but it is blue. Arab Mesa and Foothills both are somewhat exciting. Sylvan Caryatid, somewhat exciting if you want to go green, but the green isn't really super there. And I'm not really convinced we're green. Like, we've got some late like red cards that we're not really excited about, like a random Bloodbraid Elf and Imperial Recruiter. I think that I'm pretty happy to be white. We have some pretty good white cards, and we have 2 white signets and Caracas. Feldar Retreat is pretty sweet. It's kind of a cool non-creature threat. It's a little slow, I guess, but it's kind of a cool card. It's cool with Armageddon too. It's a thing you can put in play and then just kind of get in. It's not amazing. Inspector's fine. I think I just want to fetch land here, though, in case we end up splashing a color. The Retreat will probably table. This pack's pretty good. I mean, there's a lot of good cards. I think the Retreat will definitely table. So let's take the Arab Mesa. Wildfire is also a possibility. We just passed a Wildfire that could table. There's a Ravages of War. So that's the second Armageddon effect, which we really want to push the Armageddon thing. It's also a Grim Monolith. Coercive Portal is kind of cool. It's basically a personal Howling Mine. You draw 2 cards a turn. Monolith is pretty exciting, but we're not really ramping into huge things. We're more so using artifact mana as an Armageddon. I think we're gonna push the Armageddon theme. I think we're gonna make ourselves into an Armageddon deck. We have Double Signet, Soul Ring. We may or may not play green for Elves. Not really sure yet, but now that we have the Ravages of War, we can kind of like really push this theme. We have 2 of them. There's a chance it would table to Monolith, but let's try and push the theme here. Yeah, I think it's important to push themes in cube drafts. This is not a very good pack for us. Now, Wrenn and 6 is certainly good in if we're playing Ravages of War and have fetch lands. It's actually one of the best things you can do. Garruk's also really good. I mean, as is Tireless Tracker, as far as like green kind of value cards that are only 1 symbol. Definitely having things in play for Ravages of War. I'm actually kind of eyeing this Garruk. Things that are kind of hard to kill and then keep making an advantage turn after turn are pretty sweet. I think Wrenn and 6 is too off. I think we're taking Garruk Relentless here. Garruk just feels like the perfect thing to play on turn like 2 and then get in the next turn. It can kill things. Just a pretty solid card. Yeah, we're going to Garruk here. Looking to be like a Planeswalker-y Geddon deck. Savannah's perfect. We have a fetch land. This is the on-color duel we're looking for. Nothing else here is super exciting. Pretty easy pick. Really enjoyed the variety in this cube as well. They cut a lot of the crappy cards, so most everything. As I say that, there's a lapse of certainty. Sorry, but they've got most of the crappy card. This pack's actually full of crappy cards. Prime Speaker, Biogenic Ooze, lapse of certainty. All these cards are pretty bad, but for the most part, they've lowered the amount of crappy cards, so it's pretty easy to draft an archetype, which is really cool. And like I have done 20 drafts in the last 2 days, I have not drafted a deck like this, which is awesome. Mirari's Wake is pretty sweet. It is a cool card to cast early. It's a good card with Geddon because we get to make double mana for all of our lands after the Geddon, which is pretty great. Just a solid card. We're not really using the mana like super well at the moment, but just the best card in this pack, I think. I could open up some avenues for mana sinks and things like that. Elspeth seems perfect also. If we're looking for Planeswalker and then Geddon, Elspeth is another great Planeswalker that just keeps going over and over again. And we can live the dream of Ultimate Elspeth and then Armageddon to have all of our lands stay in play, which is pretty cool too. So, like Elspeth here. We have a lot of 4s, but I think we're not playing red, so these can go. We have a lot of 4s, but we have Double Signet and Soul Ring, so like we can make that work. It's also cool because we have the Relic Warder and the Pride Mage, so if they have artifact mana, we can kill that. So that's pretty cool. This is a deck that would love a Mana Crypt, for sure. Okay, Condemn is actually not bad if you're trying to be defensive, but Solemn, again, Solemn's another 4-drop. We are really, really 4-dropping here. But I think that, I like Solemn over Condemn. We don't really have, like, any removal. Maybe it's Condemn, actually. If we had a Swords or a Path, I'd be less inclined to take the Condemn because we just already have that covered. But I think we don't need another 4-drop. I think Condemn is actually pretty nice for keeping us alive. We might board it out sometimes, but we have 4s, I think. Okay, Brimaz, Sacred Foundry. Brimaz is actually solid. It's good with Mirari's Wake. It's good post-Wrath. It's a good defender. Brimaz is pretty solid. There also isn't a lot of removal in the Ditch Cube because, again, the decks are pretty focused on being like broken, Show and Tell, Storm, whatever decks. There's a Foundry, but I don't really want any of the red cards we have, so I think this is a pretty easy Brimaz. We want more signets. All right, so Feldar Retreat tabled. We don't really want many more 4s, to be truth be told. I guess we could just not play this Resto. Resto's pretty unexciting in this deck. Feldar Retreat does a good job of being the non-creature threat that's really good post Geddon. There's an Inspector too, which is a solid little card. I do like Inspector a lot, but we'll take the Retreat here. Avacyn's also a little interesting, but not super exciting. Knight of Autumn's great. Just a very solid card. Reclamation Sage, the 2/1 that kills an artifact or enchantment that's green, is already a playable card. This is just that plus so much more in our Selesnya deck. So we really need some more lands and some more signets, because we're really getting there in playables already. So Low Sculptor's good. I think signets in our deck would be better, but all right, we'll board this, I guess. Wow, Lapse Storm. Who would have seen that coming? Sure. All right, so we really want to open. A Mana Vault would be insane, but a Signet, an on-color Signet would be fine. Mox Pearl or Mox Emerald also being, the real ideal scenario. Also, I kind of want things like Tangle Wire. I wouldn't mind some more disruption, but beyond just our 2 Geddons. Yeah, so we've done a good job of limiting our green symbols. Mana Tithe. I do like Mana Tithe. Alright, so don't want any more 4-drops, so don't want Hero Blade Hold. Mana Tithe is honestly pretty good, surprisingly. Spell Pierce is better, which is funny, it's right next to it, but Llanowar Elves is also pretty good. It sucks is we really would love to have Birds of Paradise, Noble Hierarch, or Avacyn's Pilgrim, one of the Llanowar Elf effects that makes white, not green. So we don't really need a ton of green mana if we already have 1. But I think Llanowar Elf is just by far the most important card here. Don't need any more 4s. And Mana Tithe is cool and all, but we got to ramp. We have a lot of 4s here, and we just have these Armageddons too. So with enough Llanowar Elves and artifact mana, we can cast a Geddon on turn 3 and then play our 3rd land, which would be awesome. So let's take Llanowar Elves here. Temple Garden's great. Having good mana is awesome. Nothing else here is super exciting. We really, really want another white signet. There are 2 more white signets out there, and I would really, really like them. But I'd say our deck's coming together pretty nicely, honestly. Smokestack. Wasteland. Smokestack's pretty sweet, but I think we already have a 4-mana effect like that covered with our two Ravages of War. Gilded Goose is not great because we're not going to have a lot of mana laying around to keep making food, nor do we have a use for the food. If we had Smokestack also, or Tangle Wire, we wanted to have more permanence for that, then the Goose is fine, but we can just take Wasteland here. Now we have 3 effective Savannas in our deck, so our mana base is pretty awesome. And Wasteland obviously fits the theme of being disruptive to their mana. When you're green-white, you don't have cards like Force of Will, Thoughtseize, and things like that. You gotta find other ways to knock your opponent down a peg, and Wasteland's a great way to do that. Okay. Not a great pack for us. Like, Tribelder is okay, but pretty awkward with our Armageddons. Worn Power Stone's not really what we're looking for because we don't really play anything super expensive. Nature's Claim is actually pretty good. I mean, a Disenchanting Cube is like very, very big game. And then specifically because we're trying to kill their artifact mana so we can get in safely, Claim actually seems very, very good in our deck. We might even not play this Relic Warder. Now our mana is a little more green, so we want to cast green on turn 1. So Nature's Claim seems phenomenal for us. Ballista's kind of cool too, but it's not very good against a lot of the decks. Okay. Elder Gargaroth is perhaps one of the best possible Boom Booms. Is really, really good. Some decks just can't beat it. We have some colorless ramp here in Everflowing Chalice and Basalt Monolith. We are getting a little more colored than I would like, now that we have green 1-drops and we have some white intensive cards as well. So that makes me a little less interested in Basalt Monolith or Chalice. Winds of Abandon is just like a bad path. It gives them a land too, which is kind of awkward. I don't think we really need that. So I think it's Wildwood or Gargaroth. 5, 10, 15, 16, 17. We have 19 playables currently. Wildwood's also a tap land. Gargoth's a pretty big top end. Just casting it on turn 3 is pretty awesome, so we'll take the Gargoth. We get a Razorverge Thicket. That's awesome. More good mana. Actually, what's better? Marsh Flats or Razorverge Thicket? Probably Flats, actually, right? We have Lotus Culprit and we have double Savannah, so we have Temple Garden too. Yeah, and I think it might actually table too. So that's actually pretty sweet. Sure. I do love Rashadenport. I love my opponents being miserable. I love making them not be able to cast their spells. And now our mana base is really good. We can port too, I think. There's Tanglewire. Oh man, this deck is turning out to be my heart's content here. We're not. Yeah, we're Tanglewiring. Tanglewire is just a nut. This is one of my favorite cards in the entire cube. I love Tanglewire. It's funny because it doesn't actually do anything. It doesn't draw you a card. It doesn't kill their stuff. It doesn't actually. It's effectively an O for 0. Or an O for 1, where you lose a card and gain nothing material wise. But it's just like a double Time Walk. It's like one of the best tempo cards ever printed. It's so awesome. Love it. All right, we table our Manatithe. 5, 10, 15, 16, 21 playables currently. We can play Manatithe, probably. Thragtusk is a nice sideboard card. Island of Obstruction is also like an okay card. They have a lot of Planeswalkers. It's not like great, but we're going to take Thragtusk. We could play Thragtusk main as well, honestly. We have enough mana ramp where it's pretty fast. I don't think we're playing Smokestack. This is definitely like a possible Smokestack deck, but we just have double Ravages of War instead, so. Wow, that's a late. It's a lot of late combo cards. Wildwood came back too? Sure. Hit that Razorverge Thicket too? There's a good chance if the Wildwood tabled as well. This deck's really cool. This deck's really cool. Wow. It's all coming up Millhouse, folks. All right, so you have 6, 12. This is 23. This is a deck. This is a deck and a half. We have the fetch lands for the thing. This deck is awesome. This deck is really, really cool. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, effective 6 dual lands. We have Arid Mesa Marsh Flats as fetch lands for Lotus Cobra and Feldar Retreat for landfall. We've got Wasteland and Port, which is like good disruption. We've got a lot of fast mana here and 2 Llanowar Elves, Soul Ring, Double Signet. We've got 2 Armageddons and Tanglewire to really mess their mana up, which is great. We also have our Disenchants. We're still going to play this Relic Warder. I think it's fine. You get some top end here, get some Planeswalkers. Our goal is to kind of like get a Planeswalker in play and then cast Armageddon with a few artifact manas in play. Mirari's Wake is not like amazing in this deck, but I think it's fine. I think it plays. I think we're like a card or two short of ideal. I think if like the Thrag Tusk was like, you know, a Noble Hierarch and maybe the Mirari's Wake was like an Avacyn's Pilgrim or something like that, this deck would be like, you know, almost perfect. Obviously, the thing about Vintage Cube decks is they're never perfect because, lands. They're never perfect because you could always have like all the mocks in or whatever. Like you could have a really good deck, but not have all your on-color mocks and stuff. So, all right. So these are all colorless. I count Soul Ring as a land when I build my mana bases. I guess we're not counting as a land, but actually, I guess we have Port and Wasteland, which are almost like spells in some way, and we have the Geddons too, so we don't mind playing a little extra mana. So colorless land, all green-white lands, which is awesome. Then we're gonna add 4 and 4. Maybe definitely want maybe want one more green than white, even though we have a little bit more on the white symbols. We want to cast our Llanowar Elves on turn 1. So this has 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It says 10 ways to do that. Yeah. So I think this is good. This deck's awesome. This deck's really, really cool. Holiday Cube. Let's see what we can do. See if we can get a trophy here. The gameplay in Holiday Cube can be swingy as well because you can play against like 3 okay decks and just have some good draws in 3-0 with a mediocre deck. And you can have the best deck ever, and your opponent just goes turn 1, land, Mana Crypt, Tinker, Blightstone Colossus, go, and you just lose and you can't do anything. There's definitely a lot of draws you just like can't beat in Vintage Cube, which is part of the fun of it. It's like just this crazy free-for-all. Like I had a Tinker deck 2 days ago where 2 games in 1 match, I went Island on the play, Island, Mana Crypt, which is an artifact that costs 0, taps for 2, but hurts you every turn. Sack the Mana Crypt for Tinker, which allows you to sack an artifact to pull an artifact out of your deck. Get Blightstone Colossus, which is an 11/11 infect creature, and said go. And they didn't have an answer, and they just died. That was two out of 3 games in a match. Like I had a mono red deck. My opponent reanimated an Iona on turn 2. Iona is a 9 mana white creature that says choose a color. Opponents can't play cards of that color, so they named red, and I couldn't cast a card in my entire deck. Like, there's a lot of like crazy stuff that can happen in Vintage Cube, which is why it's fun. It's also why it's good that it's only really on during the holidays, because it's sort of I think that in an abstract sense, if you're trying to build the most ideal cube environment that's the most fun and the most replayable, that an unpowered cube is that. I think powered cube is like, you know, essentially incorrect from the grand scheme of cube design. But for a short period of time, Vintage Cube is really, really fun. It's kind of like a rich chocolate cake. You don't want to have it every night. When you have it, it's really, really good. So kind of that idea. So, all right. We have an okay hand here. It's not amazing. We have turn 1 Elf, turn 2 Relic Warrior, turn 3 Garruk, which is great. So this is fine. Nothing overly powerful about this hand, but we're going to go turn 1 flats for Savannah, so you can play the Relic Warrior on turn 2. We also port them on turn 2 also, which isn't bad. Just like a pseudo time walk. And have a 1-drop. So I do love a shot and port. I just really like constricting my opponent's mana. Just makes me happy. Alright, so Marsh Flats. Savannah. Finhorn Elves, your go. And then we'll see what they do. They have a Mox, we're going to eat it. If they don't, we're probably just going to just port them. There's your Mox. Just don't play Oath of Druids. Thank you. Alright, so they're ramping. We're going to stop them from ramping, hopefully. Lotus Cobra. That is awesome. So we can play Cobra. Play Plains, make a white. Relic Warrior. Great draw. Great draw. And we eat that Mox of theirs. So, great start already. And now next turn we can play a land. Make a mana. That's 2, 3. We can't actually play port and... we can't port them and play Garruk, but... Courser of Krufix for Acidic Slime. Okay, that's pretty good. Slime is kind of nice. guess we're not going to expose the port then. We play land, get a mana, tap all our lands, play Garrick. Just make it 2/2 and say go. We could attack with like the Relic Warder or the Cobra and see if they block, and then try and Garrick fight the Courser to finish it off. That does allow us to. When Garrick flips, it can like sack a creature to search for creatures. I don't really have anything that's like great though, creature wise. Most of our good cards are non-creature permanents, like Elder Gargaroth and stuff. But so we don't really need this Lotus Cobra anymore. None of our cards are that expensive, so we could just attack, see if they block, use Garrick, finish off the thing, and then have a flip Garrick in play, which is pretty sweet. Flip Garrick, makes 1/1s. You can sacrifice a creature to search for a creature. You can go get like Brimaz or Elder Gargaroth. Kind of like that. Let's do that. So we're gonna attack with the Cobra. We're not gonna give him back the Moxen. I think that's not okay. See what they do here. Definitely a weird looking attack. They're not gonna block. So attack was too weird. Wouldn't fall for it. We're gonna play a Forest, make a mana, and play a Garrick. And we'd love to kill this Carriot if we could, but we can't. So we're just gonna be playing Garrick. Garrick can bolt a creature, but Garrick can fight a creature basically, but that doesn't do anything right now. So let's make a wolf and say go. Top card land, lucky. Top card Avenger. So now this is like almost like the anti-us deck, because they're like just making a bunch of mana. All their cards make mana, and they want to play a big huge creature like Avenger's Zendikar. So I mean, like if we draw a Geddon, it'll be good, but a little tough. Definitely a lot of lands here. We're gonna swing with our 2/2s and see once again try and get the trade going with the Garrick. Looks like they're not having it. And they want to draw Zendikar, sure. Yeah, we're gonna need to draw a Geddon probably soon. All lands here is not really doing it. Play port. They do have Acidic Slime in their hand, but we can, if they slime our port, whatever, we gotta try to start porting them. So go to their upkeep, port a Forest. You can just F6 here because we don't have anything else to do. They draw Avenger's Zendikar. Top card is Arbor Elf. Sure. So now their hand is Avenger's Zendikar, Acidic Slime. They have a land. Only 4 mana though, so they can't Acidic Slime. They're close to playing Avenger's Zendikar though, which is pretty bad for us. We really need to draw something here. And this is a pretty funny attack. So they can attack the Garrick here. We can't double block, so we can't let this die. But if they do that, it actually just flips, which I think is actively really good for us. They decline, which is a smart idea. So let's just draw like a Geddon or something here. Happy holidays. Okay, that's pretty awesome. So let's make sure that they have all their lands in play. So we actually want to like actively get them to sack this Tribe Elder and then play Geddon and probably win the game. Courser is good in play with the Geddon, but we're gonna just attack them with all 3 2/2s and see what they do. See if they can block, because I think they want to get rid of his Arbor Elf and not draw it, so they're probably gonna block with destroy the Tribe Elder. Cool. And now will they let it die? They're gonna let it die, which is fine. So Culber's whatever for us. All right, so and now we're trying to make a 2/2 and play Geddon and then play a land, which is awesome. So this should probably end the game for the most part. And everything is going exactly according to plan. We have played a Geddon with a Planeswalker in play, and we are way ahead. And they're drawing Arbor Elf. Now we're drawing Forest. Pretty good rips, having 2 forests on top after the Geddon. Sure, it's fine. We ain't there yet, but we're getting there. We also get to use Garrick and kill the Arbor Elf now, and then we can next turn we can sacrifice the Garrick and get a cool creature. Wasteland? Not quite. Alright, so we're going to fight the Arbor Elf. I should attack first, that was dumb. To threaten killing the Courser, that was a mistake. Okay, that's fine. And then can't use the Garruk, so just flipped. Gotta hold the Wasteland. Yeah, so I guess I want to protect the Garruk. Yeah, that's fair. Alright, so we'll just say go. So now Garruk can sacrifice a creature to search for a creature and put it in my hand, or I can make 1/1 Death Touchers. Top card is Channel. Channel is one of the most powerful cards in the entire cube. It allows you to play an Eldrazi on like turn 2, which is ridiculous. So they have like Emrakul or Kozilek in their hand, you might just lose, but alright, so untap, draw. Another land. I mean, the ultimate on this is creatures you control gain trample, and plus almost one with number of creature cards in the graveyard. I only have 1 creature card in the graveyard, so that's not really working it yet. I guess we want to just get the land 5 and get our Greater Gargaroth in play. So we'll plus this for now. And just hope the channel isn't bad for us. Channel's terrifying. Absolutely terrifying. Top card, Wall Roots. Alright. They have a land in their hand. So their hand is Avenger Zendikar. They can channel into Avenger, which is pretty good. Only have 3 lands in play though, so not like the end of the world. That'll cost them 5 life. And they have a Acidic Slime also, which is not the that's not the end of the world. Okay, yeah. We're trying to constrict their mana and they're trying to actively just make mana, so it's tough. They're just gonna play Acidic Slime. Wow. Alright. Does take us off white. Not anymore. Let's take a look at our deck again. What can we do? Oh, we can actually get a Knight of Autumn and kill the Courser. I don't know if that's too late or not. I could have done that last turn, actually. I kind of forgot about Knight of Autumn. Yeah, that probably would have been pretty good. Rimaz. Gargaroth. So we can get sack a creature and get Knight of Autumn. Maybe we want to sack the Finhorn Elves and try. I guess we're gonna have. So we want to try and go for the overrun on Garruk to win, probably. I guess now it gives attack, right? Because if we do that, so let's play this. Just get a Plains. We don't need to get Temple Garden, and we're gonna sack a Wolf and get Knight of Autumn and kill the Courser and attack for a bunch. Definitely an interesting channel. If we sack the Finhorn Elves, it's an extra creature in the graveyard for Garruk's ability, but that's not going to happen for a while, I don't think. So, well, I guess the Wolf's a better blocker. Maybe sack the Finhorn Elves, actually. I should tap this for mana, it doesn't really matter. And we'll go get a Knight of Autumn. Kill Courser of Crucifix. And we can just send in everything. Very unlikely they can kill my Knight and get to my Garruk, so... Okay. Wall of Roots, sure. So they're making some progress, but Condemn, not very good. So this is Condemned. This is not where Condemned's not very good, unfortunately. So we can not really much we can do. Relic Order, Pride Mage. Yeah, we'd be sacking for a 5-drop. You can't cast it. Swordshot plus the Garrick. Swordshot Jam. I mean, attack with everything. They can play Avengers in the card next turn, and they can make 5 tokens, which is pretty bad. The only card they have is Avengers. Actually, they have to draw land to play Avengers, so. Alright, so do a bunch of damage, put them to 6. And now we can overrun. There's currently 2 creatures. This actually is probably game, honestly. Because now next turn we can just overrun. It's +2/+2 and trample, and all of our Death Touchers get extra trample too, so probably just does it. They draw a land and play Avenger, they probably just lose. So I think that sacking the Finhorn Elf a few turns ago actually ended up mattering. They laid down the line. Worked out better that way. Somewhat sloppily navigated game, but... Uh-oh. That's bad. They drew Natural Order, which is perhaps one of the best cards in their entire deck. So let's see what they have here. I mean, Progenitus won't do it. Any creature like a Crater Hoof doesn't really do much either. We should Condemn in our hand. It's funny because the Avengers and the cards like in their hand. They should get Elder Gargaroth, sure. So I think they're just really dead. Even if they gain life off Elder Gargaroth, they have 2 blocks. We're gonna trample over everything. Nature's Claim, sure. So +2/+2 everything. 1, 2. So we have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. That's 20 damage. They're at 9 with 2 blockers. They block 8 of it. That's 12 damage. Yeah, they're just super dead. All right, cool. Block 2 4/4s and take 14. That was pretty sweet. So despite them having like the all mana deck, which is pretty good against us, we were able to kind of push through. And the Geddon was obviously a really lucky draw. It was really good for us. But now we can board a little bit. Kind of interested in like Parallax Wave. 17. We do have a lot of lands in our deck. I can definitely see cutting a land. Our Wasteland is worthless because they were all forests, so we cut the Wasteland. Parallax Wave is definitely not amazing, but it's fine. Smokestack, I could try and Smokestack them. We are on the draw, and they do have a lot of mana. Condemn is like not amazing, but it's not bad. The Nature's Claim, they seem pretty bad against them. They had almost no targets for it, so, and we already have Relic Warder and Knight of Autumn and Pride Mage. We can cut the claim and bring in Smokestack. We're really forward up here, but I think this is fine. We're not interested in survival. You don't want survival if you're like putting cards in your graveyard for some reason. If we had like a single Taiga, I could see boarding in Lobmancer, Chain Lightning, Bloodbraid Elf, and trying to have a little splash, but I think this is fine. We have Thragdust for Resto too. I didn't really consider that. This hand's awesome. Put him mulligan 6. We're gonna keep. A little awkward because our green source comes in untapped off the fetch land we want to use for Lotus Cobra, but it's still a really good hand. So it's turn 1 land elf, turn 2 Cobra Relic again, turn 3 Tanglewire. Turn 1 Finhorn Elves, you got it. Wouldn't mind drawing a forest, then never drawing a land ever again. Or Mana Tithe, sure. Can't leave a Mana Tithe here. It's a little tempting, but we can find a better spot for it for sure. So Savannah, play our own Llanowar Elves. Hopefully they go turn 2 Courser. We can like Relic Warder it. That'd be pretty cool. Must be nice. Must be nice. So we go. Elspeth's also cool. Yeah, we should go Lotus Cobra land. Relic Warder again. pretty good. Now next turn we can cast Elspeth. Or even better, we can cast Tanglewire. Now we're going to play Elspeth, I think, and then try and set up Tanglewire Mana Tide the following turn. They have a lot of mana, though. Let's see what we draw. We're going to fetch that. That'd be really cool. Forest. So we can go land Elspeth, leave up Mana Tithe, and then untap Tanglewire. Or we can go land Tanglewire, leave up Mana Tithe, and then we tap enough things we can play Elspeth. That's pretty good too. Tanglewire is very, very nice right now. Yeah, we're gonna go Wildwood, make a mana, tap 2, Tanglewire with Mana Tithe up, and then play Elspeth the next turn. So on our turn we tap the water, the Tanglewire, and maybe a land. I don't know. We'll see. Whatever we need to do to play Elspeth with Mana Tithe up is what we're gonna do. So they have so you can see it just took their entire turn away. They didn't even do anything. Untap. Stack your Fading first, obviously. Make sure you stack these old cards right. It is a little awkward the way some of them are templated. So tap that. We need to play a land. That gives us a mana. And tap 3 lands. And play Elspeth, the 1 mana up. So you can tap the Llanowar Elves. And tap the... I guess our attackers don't actually matter. So we're not going to be attacking this turn probably. So... Or we can actually just jump one of the attackers to Elspeth and kill quickly. Maybe let's do that. So maybe we'll tap like 1, 2, 3. See what we draw to. Condemn. That's not really the best card against them, but sure. White. Elspeth. I think just jumping here is better than making it 1/1. So this feels pretty good. Not gonna lie. This feels pretty good. Everything's going according to plan. Not even attacking the Elspeth. Interesting. So tap the wire and tap probably just a land. Eldar Retreat. That's pretty good, but I don't want to take that Mana Tithe. So we're probably just going to hold on to that one. And send in... just send in a flyer in the air, I guess. We can send in the Llanowar Elf and the Lotus Cobra, too. Maybe we just, like, jump the Cobra and send in the Warder and the Llanowar Elves. Like, they're not going to trade off their Finhorn Elf, actually. So... we can just send in everything. Yeah, just send in everything. Plus the Warder, send in everything. I guess the Feldar Retreat does inspire us to want to go wide a little bit, because it can pump all the creatures. But now we've kind of committed to not going wide. So it's actually pretty interesting. So we need to draw a land for Feldar Retreat to play. But then it pumps a lot of stuff. We have 3 more attacks on Elspeth jumps. Or Feldar Retreat, maybe draw land. I'm going to pump you. I'm going to try to jump. So we're going to jump the Cobra and attack with everything. So I don't really care if I trade Llanowar Elves, so... it's actively good for us if we trade Llanowar Elves, so... 0-3 blocks the... no, yeah. 0-3 blocks the 2-2. Makes sense. And they take no, they're gonna trade. Wow, this is awesome for our mana type. This is freaking great. So take 5. It's funny because it makes our Feldar retreat a little worse as far as going as pumping the whole team, but tap 2. We still got this mana type locked and loaded. Oh god, this is gonna be awesome. Play prime time. Natural order. Oh, I tapped 2 lands. I'm like, why did they tap 6 mana to play natural order? Yeah. So this is the mana type of the year, obviously. Sorry for the slow roll opponent. I just was confused for a second why so many lands were tapped. I want to make sure no mana was floating. Oopsie. Pretty good. Pretty good. I like our deck. And that was a deck that was literally like our deck is designed to make our opponent not cast stuff, but they're the opposite. Their deck was trying to get as much mana in play as possible. So like all their cards like hard counter our cards a little bit, although our cards are like in theory good against their cards too. So die roll, love it. Not a great hand. Very, very fair hand here. Haven't drawn Soul Ring yet. No 1-drop. We're on the play. I mean, Pride Mage and Indicted Autumn is like fine. We have the Elspeth on turn 4. I'm going to keep. I'm often a proponent of like mulligan aggressively. On the draw, I definitely mulligan this. On the play, I think we're just going to keep. Like, it's not great. I would not fault someone for mulliganing this hand. But like if they have like, turn 2 reanimate or something like that, we're pretty sad, but don't love the creature lands. Land go is fine by me. Lotus Cobra, also fine. It's an upgrade. Now we have turn 2 Elspeth. Turn 3 Elspeth, sorry. We could also just play Pride Mage, attack for 3, and then port them, which is also really exciting too. So we'll see what they do. Savannah, are they gonna port us? Spider-Man meme? Cue the Spider-Man meme? Interesting. I kind of like the idea of porting them, honestly. Play land 4. Play 3-drop, port them again, and then jump with Elspeth. Yeah, I'm gonna port them. Probably fire off a block here. Sure. Who ports the porter, we're gonna port their Savannah. We'll go land signet here. Something like that, some sort of a mana rock. Kill their knight. I don't really know what they're doing yet. Looks like they're porting me. Gonna port me back here. Which is fine. Let's cast Elspeth. So port my port. You got it. This is magic right now. This is how magic should be. Alright, so we're gonna fire up the Elspeth. And I think we're just gonna jump again. Just try and kill them. There's no super tangible benefit for going wide at the moment, so just act for a solid 7. That's a lot of colors. Sure. White, black, green. Vindicate my Elspeth. That kind of sucks. Don't play Time Walk. Signet, sure. Alright, so Leonin Relic Warder. We can dump our hand here. We are like pretty all in, and I kind of want to port them again too. We probably want to Relic Warder the Signet and hold the Knight of Autumn. We could also just like play the Knight of Autumn as a 4/3, which isn't super exciting, but I do want to port them though. So it's actually possible I shouldn't have played that land because it'd get it in our deck. Yeah, maybe I didn't need to do that. We're going to kill their Signet, and we're going to tap their Savannah. Yeah, and we're going to port them, so... If they have a Wrath, we want a Knight of Autumn instead. I'm actually going to Knight of Autumn. Playing port in your 4-color deck's a little ambitious, but you know. Four in the pool for Lodestone Golem. Okay, draw a land, win the game. That's a land. Cost some more. Right. We can still afford the fire at the starting wild though, so we're good. All right, so kind of a weird game. Our hand wasn't really great, but their hand was also pretty weird, and their deck seems a little weird too. Which is fine. I mean, Lodestone Golem, Vindicate, port a bunch of different colors. Seems like a pretty good matchup for us because we're obviously so LD focused that this seems great. Condemn looks kind of bad again, but I'm not really sure if I'm willing to bring in something else, honestly. So Smokestack is pretty cool in our deck, but Condemn also defends our Planeswalkers. I'm gonna leave in the Condemn. Just leave in the safety Condemn. I mean, we can also cut a land too. I think we are playing one too many lands, despite being a Wrath of God deck. I mean, our Armageddon deck. This is upon belonging to 6. I'm gonna keep. This hand is also not super exciting. You know, we just never draw Soul Ring ever. We don't already Signets either, but this hand's fine. Lotus Culver's really good. We obviously have Geddon. Oh, there's color number 5. It's like 5-color stuff. Sure. There's that Condemn again. Hello. What is going on? Okay. Maybe like a Nimbus Reborn deck or something? Like. Alright, take Lotus Cobra. We have Condemns, they can't attack. Feldar Retreat. Really want to draw Soul Ring. Selesnya Signet, sure. We're probably blowing that one up after we attack. Temple Garden. Their mana base does seem a little on the sketchy side, so anything we can do to slow that down is good for us. Not a great hand for us, for sure. Smart opponent. The King. Make way for the King. So we can Brimaz, or we can play Feldar Retreat. I'm playing Brimaz. We also have Karakas to defend our Brimaz. We can bounce it back to our hand and try and kill it, which is kind of cool. So, this plays. Oh, no. What's this? Fact or fiction? Okay, that's pretty cool. And Hero's Downfall, Chupacabra, and a bunch of lands. So they already have red. Maybe something like this. Because the 2/2 body is is better than Hero's Downfall. We're gonna save it anyway. And then they get the 1 land instead of a 2. They already have black. This gives them a green. I think this is fine. So they take the land downfall, sure. So we get to save our own Brimaz and cast it again, which kind of sucks. We kind of want to just get ourselves into a spot where we can. God, this is bad. Whatever this is bad. We can just play Geddon with Brimaz in play. Golos, the Tireless Pilgrim. That card's pretty cool. That's bad, because now I can spin Golos. It is a legend, though. They get Strip Mine. So we can just, like, Caracas the Golos and cast Geddon, but they have a Swamp in their hand. Yeah, we're going to do that. Told y'all Caracas is good. Razorverse Thicket? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, this is fine. This is a somewhat desperation Geddon, but Brimaz kills pretty quick, and their mana base is pretty wonky. So we know they have a Swamp in their hand, but they're playing Port in their deck too. It's insane. All right, so we're going to play Geddon, Thicket, go. And hope this is good enough. It probably is. Little combo here with our fast land and the Geddon. So it comes in untapped on turn 8 or whatever. It's actually turn 5. It's pretty early in the game. Swamp, sure. Yeah, I mean, we need a lot more lands to do anything, but the old king is here. Make way for the king, they say. Make way for the king! Alright. Armageddon all day. Easy game. Easy game. Draw Soul Ring, please. First time in 20 drafts having it. We just like draw Soul Ring. Be pretty cool, right? Yes, we can. But there's no green, though. It is turn 2 Brimaz into Tanglewire, though, so we're going to keep this. Basically just like an awkward Llanowar Elf. I'd imagine turn 2 Brimaz, turn 3 Tanglewire will win most games, though, so... Schadenport, that's kind of awesome. Alright. Well, they can't Manatide me. I would accept Path to Exile for a green. Abrade the Soul Ring? Oh, you're going to wish you didn't do that. You're about to get tangled up. We have the Port, too. Yeah, this Brimaz is going all the way. This Brimaz is going coast to coast. And then just when they get out of the Tanglewire lock, we're going to get in them. Tap a token, leave up Port. Forest for Llanowar Elves. Interesting. Yeah, ship it. Tap 3. Chain Lightning the Finhorn Elves. Sure. Well, I think that wraps this up. So we're about to play the old Geddon. Heh. Which one do you want? I mean, we wasted the counters on our Tangle Wire. They didn't have any permanents to tap, right? Right? We drew Soul Ring. We did it. This deck is sweet. This deck is sweet. Manatithe. I'd say I've been a little underpressed at Feldar Retreat, honestly, but yeah, we can keep this. It's not insanely explosive, but it's good. Ancestral Vision. All right, well, the way our deck is built, we don't really care how many cards you have because we're just trying to make it so you can't cast spells, so that's fine. Manatithe. I mean, everyone likes good Manatithe. A little awkward land-wise. We can't play Pride Mage and Manatithe, but maybe I should board Skindam out. Skindam's pretty bad. We're not leaving at Manatithe this turn, so Pride Mage, attack for 2. Little glutted on 4 here. Little glutted on 4. Nothing. Upkeep. Deceiver Exarch. So they're a twin deck. We're gonna Manatithe this because we want this thing out of the battlefield. We cannot deal with it in any other way. So that's bad. All right, that's rough. We might be in trouble here. We don't have our 4th land for all our 4 drops. We drew a 5 drop and a worthless amount of spell. Should probably board this out. It's a Fairy Time Raveler. Ugh. Okay. Bouncing the Pride Mage. Oh my god, they got everything. All right, yeah, might be down this game. That's okay. We'll get the next game. No, we'll sideboard a little better too. Now we actually see with a little more of their deck. We kind of just crushed them the first game, so you have a lot of little bolty spells. Okay, well, we're gonna play. I mean, they have 5. Probably have a counterspell of some kind. What's a more important card, Karn or Garrick? Probably Garrick. We can Karn first. Karn still makes token capable of attacking Teferi. Five cards in hand. Yeah, definitely not an ideal spot to be in. All right, let's make this into a 2/2. Hope they don't have like Restoration Angel, Pestermite, one of the many cards that can stop a stack. I don't seem to. That's interesting. Do we cast the Garrick? I guess. Like, they probably would have countered the Karn if they had a counterspell for it. What is this? Hardcast Force? Gush. Just 5 mana draw 2? Sure. I mean, Geddon's looking pretty appealing next turn, so... Okay, that's bad. Wish I condemn. Jeez. So they can Glorybringer and kill a Planeswalker. The problem is they can exert on the next attack. I guess it's still fine though. Oh, we actually can't condemn because they have Teferi in play. Holy crap! Holy cow, that's bad. All right. What's the plan here? What's the plan here? Exert, attacking Garrick, killing a token. Sure. So hopefully we can kill Teferi here. Then I have a way to stop that because then our condemn turns back on. So failed our retreat. So reveal top two with Urza. I mean Karn. Nature's Claim, Arid Mesa. Damn it, that kind of sucks. All right. Well, let's attack Teferi. I guess attack them. Teferi going to 1 doesn't really matter. So, oh man, they got more stuff. Ouch, ouchie, wowie. All right, that's bad. I mean, Teferi being at 1 is like not that much different than 2. I guess you could have like attacked it again this turn. Maybe I should have attacked Teferi there. Maybe that was just not worth the 1 damage. That probably was a mistake. They already cast Bolt and Burst Lighting, so them having another instant speed removal spell is like not the most likely thing in the world, but it's probably just incorrect on my part. Pestermite. Okay, so we're dead. Save Kiki Jiggy. Alright, so definitely a pretty good hand on their part, and our hand did not line up super well. I wonder if they would like only attack with 19 of them or whatever, not enough, or they can get them, but we're not gonna see if that happens. So, all right, so they are a fairly interactive twin deck with a lot of cheap removal. So I actually like having a lot of lands in that case. They kill my mana creatures. Condemn is pretty bad. We can bring Restoration Angel. I kind of like Smokestack too. Honestly, Feldar Retreat's not really impressed. I guess the Thrag Tusk is probably worse, honestly. I mean, it's better against Teferi, but worse against everything else than Gargaroth. Maybe Mirari's Wake's not good against them either. It's too non-effective on the board. This is a spot where I definitely wouldn't mind having Bloodbraid Elf in my deck, but again, we don't have a fetchable red land, so it's just not worth the trouble, I don't think. I guess Parallax Wave does answer their combo, which is kind of cool. The wave is just in play. That's just another 4-drop. Doesn't do much else. This is fine. Claim answers Twin, but they showed us Kiki, not Twin. So Claim seems kind of bad too. I'll bring the wave, I guess. Mirari's Wake just doesn't seem very good. You just don't really have a use for the mana. Like, it's fine, but it's not great. Yes, this is fine. Let's have a faster start this game. A little artifact mana. There's a little artifact mana. We like that. So we're gonna keep. We're gonna Temple Garden on 1. So if you draw a white source, you want to Bremaz on 2. So there we go. There we go. Now we are gonna ruin our mana base after this Geddon, but we're gonna get Plains. We want to keep a Savannah in our deck. So post Geddon, we still have a duel. Make way for the king! Like, we can literally just Geddon next turn and play Land Elf. It's probably not even, like, necessary. That's, like, double Stone Rain. Probably not even good enough. We should play Thragtusk next turn, honestly. Soul Ring's pretty stupid. It's pretty clear why Soul Ring is, like, the best, like, the literal best card in the cube. In case you haven't noticed yet. Tundra, Volcanic Isle. Look at this mana base here. Braid the Soul Ring. All right. That's fair. I'm just getting you the old-fashioned way, you know? So we'll see if we're playing Geddon next turn. We're playing Thragtusk. We'll see what they do. Red-blue. Oh my god. That is the most aggressive Gush I think I've ever seen in a cube draft. I guess they're playing around Armageddon, right? Like, okay, I guess. They must like not have a land. Flame Slash. Wow. There are so few red cards that kill Brimaz. All right. Okay. I'm going to be pretty sad if we lose this game, let me tell you. Their deck does seem good against ours in that they have essentially infinite. They basically have every lightning bolt in the entire cube. All right, we need to draw a 4-drop that's not Ravages of War or land. Wow. That's like not bad, I guess, but Flame Slash. It actually have Bolt, Flame Slash, a Braid, Chain Lightning. All right. Tangle Wire, sure. All right, sure. Pretty happy having Exarch out of the picture, so. Oh my god, they burst lighting too? Oh man. Ancestral Vision, sure. Sure. All right. We're trying. Factor Fiction response to they just have it all. Their deck's really, really good. They just have everything. We like might need to get in them, honestly. Put the Pestermite and the Resto together. We're gonna tap 2 things next turn. I might just cast Geddon next turn. So they'll take the combo piece pile, and then we just get in them and hope they don't draw any lands. Because this pile is better for finding lands, and they need the combo pieces because we've already killed the Exarch. So we know they have these 2 cards. They are drawing a lot of cards off their recall too. They have so many cards at this point. Oh, they have Black Lotus too. Now I think we're dead because they have Lotus for Angel. Wow, this is their deck is good. I think our deck could beat theirs, but their deck does seem very, very good. Wasteland. It's also just like lines up really well against. They just have they have all their removal for our small creatures, and they have a combo finish obviously too. And that Lotus is brutal. I thought the Lotus think we have a chance this game, but I think we're just casting Thragtusk and getting killed by Kiki-Jiki next turn. I don't think there's like a way out. So because now we can't play Geddon because they're ahead because they should play Resto. So they didn't play Resto because they need the triple red for Kiki, so we're just dead. All right. A little sad. A little sad at the 3-0. This deck, which I think is really, really good. But their deck is really good and doesn't line up very well against us. Oh yeah, they gotta do that too, I guess. So let's see what happens. We would like for them to play a land. Maybe we can get in them, I guess. They have Pestermite and Restoration Angel, so so many cards. Okay. I think this is a So You're Telling Me There's a Chance spot here. So they're going to play Pestermite. They're going to tap my Thragtusk. I mean, they still have a Lotus in play, which is a little hard to beat. But we attack for no. Just get in here and play Port, and they just have a Black Lotus in play. Oh, I'm sure they have lands in their hand too. I don't think there's a choice. All right. Tap one. There's no. It sucks as we boarded out. I mean, obviously the Nature's Claim is pretty bad for us, but we have no way to kill this Lotus. Like, there's no card we can draw to kill Lotus. Needle Spire. Okay. Sure. All right. Well, I guess it's a card we can draw to kill Lotus. I mean, that we can actually cast. We're at 7. So we say go and like tap the. Oh, I can't tap Lotus. Obviously, that's stupid. Oh no. The thing is that, like, I don't know how they do if, like, their opponent's not playing a bunch of creatures, because they don't have any, like, counter spells. If your opponent's playing Emrakul, stuff like that, they just have a bunch of Flame Slashes in their deck, so their deck is very good against us. I'm not sure if it's, really super good in, like, the abstract. All right, so they're going to go to 2. I mean, they just have Kiki in their hand. We just can't do anything. We can't keep them off it. All right, well, their deck was good. They played well. Unfortunately, things didn't really line up for us, but I don't think this deck would trophy most drafts, all things considered. I think this deck is really, really good. We definitely were a few cards off. Like, I would say that the Condemn and the Feldar Retreat and like one of our lands make those into like 3 better cards and give us like a Mox Pearl, and this deck is like perfect. But so 2-1. So those first 2 wins were so convincing too. But yeah, definitely a really, really good deck. Definitely the way you want to draft your like kind of stacksy, prison deck. And yeah, that was really fun. Hope y'all enjoyed that. I like doing 1 cube draft a year on my cool stuff videos around the time of the holidays. Y'all enjoyed it last year. Let me know in the comments your thoughts on the cube draft and doing this as a format every year. And yeah, I love y'all. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. I'm Jim Davis for CoolStuffInc.com. Check out CoolStuffInc.com proper. My article on Friday, I'm going to go over all the 20 decks that I drafted, or 19 decks that I drafted in the Cube for Charity Challenge. Show you the deck, explain a little about why it worked and didn't work. That would give you a lot of kind of groundwork and baseline expectations if you're a little newer to Cube as far as understanding what makes a Cube deck work and not work. So thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Go to CoolStuffInc.com. Check out the article that goes with this video. Check out my content. Promo code Jim5, 5% off your order, and get a free Jim Davis Goblin token on CoolStuffInc.com, and free content every weekday. No paywall. CoolStuffInc.com. I love y'all. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.